Hey friends, what's good? Welcome to Storytime. Disclaimer right off the top. I'm going to talk today about fasting, and fasting isn't for everybody. So, this is what I did. This is how I live my life. So, you do you, and yeah, nobody can sue me or anything. I got to drink this without making noises. Oh, it's always too hot. Anyway, welcome. So, today I wanted to talk about fasting and what got me started with fasting. So I've been intermittent fasting for about 13 years now. And the reason I started was because I was a nurse on shift work. And what I was finding was that it was very hard for me to keep a regular diet while I was at work. So, what I decided to do one day was not eat from about 7 p.m. until 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock the next day, which meant I was either going to be on shift and I could eat, or I would be at home and I could eat. Because sometimes when you're in the middle of shift work like that, it can mess with your body so much. And way back in the day, probably in the early 2000s, there was a big, uh, I mean, most of us nurses had, I think, pretty horrible diets. We were drinking back then. We had full throttle energy drinks. We had caffeine, lots of coffee, always on the pot in the pot, ready to go at all times, and toast. Everybody ate toast. Toast with butter, toast with jam, toast and peanut butter. So our diets were kind of horrible. And you could see it with all the people I worked with, all the nurses, that they'd have a pocket full of something protein, chocolate bars, gum, something to get them going in case they had a time where they couldn't eat. Because you don't want to be stuck in a nursing situation and run out of energy, have no sugar, and not be able to function. So it was really important for me to fine tune my program, my diet. And around that time, I was also dealing with having probably had one or two tumors. So I was thinking it can't hurt, as I did tons of research on fasting and realized that there was a benefit to doing the fasting. So it was very conscious when I started fasting. And it has grown to become uh, even more for me now because now I fast. I have two reasons to fast. The first one is cleanse and just empty the body and give myself a break from food. And the second one is a spiritual cleanse. I do cleansing when I really got to get real and right with God and just sit and talk and ignore, those noises, the food noises, which sometimes just this is a controversial section as well, where gluttony, if we become too gluttonous, we forget God, because we are the most obese. I think Western people we're the most obese because we have so much food. We have so many fast food joints. We have anything and everything we could possibly want to eat, but we never take a minute to just take a break from it. And so that was really important for me. The main reason was to stop eating uh, at times when I couldn't. And so I found in the mornings when I'd go to work, I'd go all day and not eat. After about the first couple of weeks, even a month, I did not feel hungry anymore. So I changed the way my body was reacting to not eating. So you don't feel like maybe in the first few days you're like, oh, I'm starving to death. But it's the food noise. You're hearing food noise. And our bodies we can adapt. And it's quite amazing because now at this point in the game, I can fast anytime I need to. And I found it extremely helpful to be able to fast consciously when I lived in the van because I was on a limited, I didn't have a freezer, I just had a cooler. I could only get groceries when I had money. And so there were days where always fed the dogs, made sure the dogs were the first ones fed. And that's just how I've always been, to take care of the dogs first. But that fasting in the past kept me alive because I knew I could go 16, 18 hours without food. I'm fine. I'll be fine. And it was never to lose weight. It was never to use as a weight loss tool. It was always a spiritual thing and just a timing for to be able to, because when you hop in the car after work and you're ravenous. You're like, oh, I got it. And you just hit every fast food store on the way home, every place. I just didn't have the need to do that anymore because I knew, oh, well, I just 20 minutes to home, I can have myself a good meal. So it was more a discipline, and I'm really, really happy that I started that process because now it's easier for me to talk about it with people too, where someone says, oh, I have this problem and that problem. Well, have you tried fasting for a day? Just see how your body feels to remove some of the toxins and to cleanse out some of the crap. And a lot of us, I don't anymore, but a lot of people take a lot of vitamin supplements. And I think a lot of stuff just sits in us. It doesn't get utilized and it just sits there. So now that I've done, I survived the van living and was able to eat on minimal food, like live on minimal food and eat whatever I had. I was just telling my mom a few days ago that one day I remember having enough dog food for one day, and I had one hard-boiled egg left. And I literally didn't eat anything until the end of my fast, and then I had my hard-boiled egg. And then lo and behold, I think my son showed up with his girlfriend, and they brought me groceries. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, this is like to me, God's timing is pretty is pretty obvious sometimes because I'm still alive." And so now I use the fasting when I maybe have situations that are similar where right now, I'm just starting my business, just starting to get everything off and running, and it can be tough. There's tough times. I sometimes have to hit the food bank. I got to hit some of these cool community places that, outreach that help us. But I know how to live that way. So I feel like it was really important for me to go through that with the fasting. And I'm going to stick with it my whole life because I really feel that it's kind of an important part of my spiritual growth as well as my body health is to just sort of maintain not feeling like I'm going to starve to death because that lack, that mindset of lack is what gets us into a bad position in life because I have a mindset of abundance. I know I always have something when I need it, but I can also handle it if I don't. So it just makes you stronger. And that's all I wanted to talk about. And holy crap, you guys, one of these animals just passed some gas. I'm going to hurl. Which, oh, someone's got to go outside. Oh, trigger warning right there. Wow. So that's my story about fasting. And like I said, as a disclaimer, I'm not telling you to fast. I'm telling you to do your life. But I love it. I do it for myself and I do it for my own reasons. I don't do it for any other, I don't do it for weight loss or any of that stuff. So yeah, fasting. Anyways, thank you so much, you guys, for hanging out with me for 7.5 minutes. The times are, it's not too bad. I want to kind of keep everything under 10 minutes. And Sadie's going to lick my arm. So thank you. But thanks for joining me. Subscribe, like, comment, hit the bell, do all of that stuff. And I appreciate you guys. And God bless. Have a great day.